Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to episode 4 of C++ Object-Oriented Programming. In the previous episode, we have covered polymorphism. In polymorphism, we're dealing with the runtime polymorphism, which is function overriding. In this episode, we will continue with the concept of function overriding, for which now we'll be talking about virtual functions and pure virtual functions. So let's get to code. First, before we go to code, what is virtual function? A virtual function, I would say, is a function that has a keyword virtual before the return type when you declare it. That virtual keyword is a word that tells the compiler that it has to do dynamic binding for that function, like it has to fetch the relevant implementation from the child function. So what we're going to do to implement virtual functions, since you can see this is the previous code that we wrote last week on function overriding and a polymorphism. We had a class shape which was extended by class rectangle and triangle and circle, right? Class shape had the calc area, get area function, and the variable area. And then class rectangle had these functions, as you can see. And then class triangle had these two functions, and then class circle had these functions. So now we're going to introduce the concept of virtual functions. Virtual functions are quite easy. What you all need to do when doing a virtual function, you go to the base class and then you just add virtual in front of the function, just like that. There we go. We have our virtual function. When we make it to be, there's a difference when we make it to be pure virtual function. A virtual function, you just put virtual there, and then it will alert the compiler that the compiler needs to do dynamic binding during the runtime. Then when you do pure virtual function, that means you will remove the implementation. That simply means you will remove the implementation of the function. You are trying to say that function won't have implementation in the base class. It will only have implementation on the classes that extend that base class. How we do that, we add the virtual keyword here before the class return type, then we equate that function to 0 to be a pure virtual function, like this. This is a pure virtual function and this is a virtual function. So if we were to run the code, we should get same results. Here are our results. But the difference from this code to the previous code is that in this code now, let me do like this. Let me remove these lines of code in the main. And before we go there, let's go back here. If you check now, let's say you have this virtual function, or let's go. From our initial code like this, right? If you come to your main and say shape, then you'll say shape1 equals to shape. Then you can say let's do like this, shape then we'll say dpl area equals to 0, like that, right? Or let's say 10, so that we can say that it's not a default value. So if you come here and say shape, let's say shape1, and we can come here and say shape1 dot get area we have to see out this. We'll will see it will return that area in the base class, which is 10. So it's returning 10. But now when we go to virtual functions, it will still return 10. If we can make this function, the get area function, to be virtual, there won't be any change. It will still return 10 because virtual keyword is only there to tell the compiler that we need to do dynamic binding. But here is the difference. Now if we can create another function, let's say we make this calculate area to be a pure virtual function like that, and say virtual function like that. Now our base class you can no longer have object of the base class, meaning this base class is now an abstract class. You cannot create an instance of that base class. If we're to compile this code, it will tell us that we have an error. We can't make an instance of a base class. Invalid class to abstract class type shape. You see, it's telling us in this line we're trying to create an instance of a base class. So you'll usually create a function to be an abstract class if you don't want to, if you won't need to create any instances of that function in your code. So for this episode, this was quite a short episode. I will end here, and thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please comment below any question you have. If you like this video, hit the like button and press here for the next episode in this series, and subscribe here. Have a nice day.